Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylin and today I wanted to make another video talking about 10 more things to do that are low cost and that you can do that are kind of Easter themed, because Easter's coming up and I've been thinking about activities to do with my kids over the holidays, and I love to do creative things with them that cost very little and look for kind of like the less like widely publicized events as well. So yeah, you don't necessarily have to have kids for this. Like, you can just do these things for yourself. Like, if I didn't have kids, I would still want to do these things. So number one is to make your own Easter wreath, and you can just try to work with what you have. You can just use like whatever materials you have lying around. You could get some cheap little like Easter eggs, like, you know, the little decorative ones that you can get that come in different colours. They kind of look like mini eggs, and just like use a glue gun if you have it and stick them all on, or just use PVA if you don't have that. And there's just something really satisfying about making your own decorations for the season and using them year after year as well. Like, it's kind of like a nostalgic thing too, and I would really like to try to do this because I have an autumn wreath and I have a winter, like a Christmas wreath, but I don't have an Easter wreath. So yeah, I think that would be fun to do. Number two is to paint some eggs, because it's such an easy, kind of obvious Easter activity to do. If you have paints in the house, like, you don't need to buy anything else for it, and you can decorate them however you like. You can make them really creative. You can like do the whole egg rolling tradition afterwards if you want, or just put them in a bowl and use them as a display, and that in itself can be an Easter decoration that doesn't have to cost much at all. Number three is to get some cheap Easter decorations, or to make your own to decorate like an Easter tree. So for example, you could get a branch or just like a really small tree or plant, and you can decorate it with little things that you've made yourself at home. Like, you could even just draw pictures of Easter related things and then hang them up with string, or you could just go and get like very cheap like pawn shop type decorations, and just like don't go crazy and buy all of the ones you see. Just get one thing, and I think sometimes buying one thing to decorate something, it's more effective looking than whenever you overcrowd it, because it just stands out more. So that's like another thing you could do. Number four is to try making your own hot cross buns. This is something that I have never done myself, and I like the idea of making my own because of the whole dairy thing. Like, dairy doesn't really agree with me, and when it's in them I can't really just eat them. But yeah, I think it could be fun to try to make your own, and just like for them to look homemade, and you can share them with people too. And you can always make something different if you don't like them, like mini egg cookies or something like that. I just think it's fun to have like Easter treats in the house that you can use, and I think it's just more fun when you've put the time into decorating them yourself. Number six is to go on a spring forage and look for things. Like, for example, today on my walk I saw lots of wild garlic, and I love the smell of it as well, and you can forage for things like that, or look for flowers that, there may be even weeds, but they just like, they make you think of springtime and Easter, and you can make your own little bouquets with them. And yeah, just be careful that you don't pick things you're not allowed to pick, like bluebells and stuff like that. But yeah, that reminds me, I'll put in a little clip. We saw some little, I don't know if they were like white bells, but I'm pretty sure they have another name. They look like bluebells, but they're white. And Potato was sniffing them to death, and it just cheered me up seeing them. And I think going on walks like that, where you are specifically looking for things to mark the season, it just feels like so much more rewarding than kind of just like walking without even taking in your environment. Number six is to look out for free Easter events or parades near you, and to plan ahead. I love making this into an activity on its own, where I literally like sit down and scour the internet for activities that are coming up. Like, the cheaper the better. If I can find free ones, that's great. And quite often with the free activities now, because they're so popular and in such high demand, they quite often create like a booking system where you don't have to pay, but you do have to book a ticket, and if you plan ahead you're more likely to actually get a ticket for those events, because I think people just rush in and they're fully booked as soon as like they've been announced. But if you can kind of find them before it reaches that point, you're more likely to be able to book them. And I'm kind of hoping that our city does like an Easter event this year of some sort, because they did like a giant egg hunt before and the kids really loved it, because they like, you had to go around Belfast city centre and find these giant like hidden painted eggs and then get your photo taken with them and stuff. And then there was like a trail to go with it that you could print off from online, and there were also little treats along the way, like the girls got a chocolate coin from Starbucks and it was free, and then they got like a free hot chocolate each as well, so it's sort of like incentive to keep going, and it gets you out and about walking around together too. And yeah, I just like whenever there's something like that on, so I'm kind of hoping that they will do something similar again this year. Number 7 is to try decorating your garden for Easter, because you might think to decorate your house a little bit, but maybe not your garden as often, and you can do things like hanging eggs in like bushes and it just cheers the place up, or putting some like cheap fairy lights outside and picking like springtime colours, like pastel kind of colours, or even just white lights rather than kind of colourful Christmassy ones, and it just cheers everything up, and then it's like the perfect place to have an Easter egg hunt if you want to. Number 8 is to make your own bird feeder, and you can use something like the skin of an orange. If you just chop the top of it off, remove the orange, and then you can use like wooden skewers to hold it together, and then just string to hang it up, and you can fill it with bird seeds. It's so simple to make, but it's biodegradable and the birds will definitely appreciate it. Number 9 is to press some flowers so that you can use them to make pictures and cards, and if you kind of think to do this now and plan ahead for Easter, you can have them pressed in time, and yeah, you can just spend some time collecting things and looking out for pretty things to press, and then you can use them for any sorts of Easter crafts that you plan to do over the Easter period. And finally, number 10 is to do some junk art but Easter themed, because usually we have so many supplies lying around our houses and we just don't think to use them up, and sometimes you'll have a fixed idea in your head of what counts as a craft, but I just think we should kind of do away with that. Like, you don't have to go and buy a pre-made pack of, like, I'm trying to think of an example, for example polystyrene eggs to paint. Like, you can just paint the ones that the real eggs you have at home, or you can make your own egg pictures, you can make collages, you could use fabric you have lying around to make pictures. Like, stop it! Here we go with the barking. You can draw like your own little Easter pictures. Sorry about the barking, but if I wait for it to stop, we'll be here for eternity. And just like work with what you have and get creative and look for inspiration online and try and make the most of what you've got, rather than going out and stocking up on more stuff that is probably going to end up in the bin anyway whenever Easter's over. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope this video gives you some ideas of things to do over Easter that doesn't cost like a lot of money. Potato! Sorry, he barks every time I make a video, it's ridiculous. Yeah, so thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more content, and I will make another video soon. Bye!